Hello, welcome. Namaste. We're gonna be doing a very special class today to celebrate the new moon in Scorpio. I have designed this yoga class for intuition. So today, what that essentially means is that we're going to be focusing on the chakra, the center of energy that is associated with intuition, inner wisdom, and that chakra is the Ajna chakra. And in the energetic body, that corresponds to a place in the physical body. And that place is in between the eyebrows, or just above the space in between the eyebrows. And so you can roll with this if you want, and you can focus on this space throughout the practice. However, if it's not really in your theme of yoga classes, maybe maybe you don't focus on this and you just focus on the theme, which is intuition and inner wisdom. So this is a very special time of the month because it's the new moon. And so this is a time for things to be growing, gestating, and becoming anew. It's a great time to set any intentions and work on manifesting anything you want. This is also the last time, supposedly, in the year that we can astrologically kind of like safely manifest, because all of the other moons and new moons that are going to follow until January are going to coincide with eclipses. Whether you believe in this or not, now is a really good time to set some intentions until the end of the year. What do you want to achieve before January? Whether that be a emotional or a physical achievement. So we'll begin in a seat. So wear comfortable clothing, of course, as always, and come onto your yoga mat or onto the floor. And make sure your setup is nice for you to really relax in this session. We're not going to be doing any sun salutations. We're going to be doing very slow movement, strength, flexibility, and of course, focusing on the Ajna chakra. So you might also want a blanket. I have my blanket right here, ready for the end. And you might also want to use some essential oils, burn some incense or sage, or anything that you like that makes your room smell good so that you can feel good too. So we'll start in that seat. Close down the eyes. Place the hands on the knees. You can place the palms face down to start. And just settle into the practice. Deepen the breath. And straighten the spine, maybe roll the shoulders back. If you've been sat at your desk all day, your shoulders might be hunched forward. So just unhunch. Make the spine nice and straight. And we'll bring the palms to face up and stretch the arms out straight. So placing the back of the hand on the knee. Nice straight arms. Palms open to receive. Relax the muscles in the face. And you can bring your attention, your awareness up to the point in between the eyebrows, to the third eye, Ajna chakra. Ajna chakra in Sanskrit loosely translates to perception or to perceive, to the center of perception. And so the seed mantra, or the bija mantra of this chakra is Om, which is also the universal mantra. So you can chant with me if you feel called to do so. Take a deep inhale. Fill the lungs completely all the way up to the chest. Inhale. Feel the vibration. Inhale deeply. Inhale. Inhale. Final round. Inhale deeply. Take a deep inhale and exhale through the mouth. Bring the hands up to the heart in prayer mudra, Anjali mudra. You can bring the thumbs up to the third eye. And just take a moment, feel the contact between the thumbs and the skin. And this is a great time to set any intentions before the practice. Great. We'll release the hands back down to the knees. And we'll open the eyes gently. And we'll continue with the physical practice. So we will begin our practice with our first asana, first posture. And this first posture is going to be child's pose. So come onto your hands and your knees in a tabletop shape. And you can bring the knees wide if you'd like to, or you can keep the knees together. And we'll release the hips down onto the heels. Stretch the arms forward and place the forehead down onto the mat. So if you have made an intention for this practice, you can imagine that you're keeping it in the front of your mind. Whether it's a word, a feeling, a vibration. Focus on it. And breathe deep in this restorative child's pose. Whenever the mind begins to wander, you can bring your awareness back to the breath, back to your intention, back to the third eye. And you can begin to massage the forehead by rocking the head from side to side. If you have chosen to use essential oils in your practice, maybe you can place a drop or two on the mat. Okay, we'll come back to center. Inhale, and we're going to slowly roll the spine, drag the fingertips on the mat, and roll the spine all the way up to sit on the heels. Bring the knees together. And open the heart. So bringing the knees together. And placing the hands just behind the lower back, interlocking the fingers. And squeezing the shoulder blades together. You can point the index finger down to the earth behind you. Open the heart, maybe take the gaze to look up. We'll release the hands. Place the hands in front of you. Come back into your tabletop shape. Curl the toes under. Bring the hands a little bit further forward. And lift the hips up and back for downward facing dog. So in your first down dog, you can either bring the feet together or bring the feet nice and wide to have more space in the hips. And we'll melt the heart down. Allow the head and the neck to relax. Push into the fingers and spread the fingertips to take weight off of the wrists. And you can begin to bend one knee after the other, pushing one heel after the other down into the ground. Stretching out the hamstrings. Keeping the breath nice and deep as you go. Great. Come into a still down dog. Again, you can always bend the knees if you need to, if you feel tight today. We're going to inhale, lift the right leg up nice and high. Exhale, bend the right knee, pull the right knee forward towards the front of the mat and step that right foot in between the hands. And you can drop the back knee down and come into a low lunge. So open the heart, look forward. With the back foot, you can keep the toes curled under to protect the knee. Or if you have arthritis or any condition that affects the knees, you can place a blanket or a cushion under the back knee if you need. Or you can allow the toes to lie flat on the mat. Cool. Breathing deep here, feeling that really deep stretch in the left hip flexor. Great. From here, we're going to take that right foot and walk the right foot over to the left side of the mat. And you can use the hands and slowly come down onto the hip. However, if you have very dodgy knees or a tight hip, you can place a cushion or a blanket underneath the right hip. So really the knee should be down and relaxed, and the foot can be out to the side. You can flex the foot or allow the foot to point, or even bring the foot closer to the hip. So bringing the hands out in front on the fingertips. The back leg is nice and straight. Inhaling here for our pigeon. And exhaling only if you feel comfortable doing so. You can place the palms down on the mat. And then perhaps the forearms. And then perhaps placing the head on the hands. This is a very deep hip opener. I'm going to take a few moments here. This can be quite the emotional release because we tend to store a lot of our emotions in the hips. So if you feel the need to cry or sigh, or if you feel any kind of emotion, just allow it to be. Don't place any judgment on it. Just observe. Keep the breath nice and deep. And if at any point you feel uncomfortable, you can remove yourself from the posture. So on your next inhale, you can push into the forearms, lift the head up, and then come up onto the hands again. We'll curl the back toes under, push into the hands, and lift the hip up. Step back to downward facing dog. So take a moment and relax in your down dog. Maybe bend one knee after the other. Notice the difference in between the hips. And when you're ready, we're going to inhale, lift the left leg up nice and high. And exhale, bend the left knee, pull the left knee forward towards the front of the mat and step the foot in between the hands. You can drop down onto that back knee. Come into your low lunge. Open the heart, open the throat, look forward. Breathe deeply. Feel that stretch in the right hip flexor this time. Great. When you're ready, we're going to walk the left foot over to the right side of the mat. Use the hands to really support you here as we lower the knee down and lower the hip down, either onto the mat, a cushion, or a blanket. And again, coming up onto the fingertips, giving some nice space for the spine. The back leg is nice and straight. And only if you feel comfortable doing so, you can place the palms down and then the forearms, and then perhaps create a little cushion for the head and place the forehead down. So each side of the body is different. We hold tension in different areas. So this side might feel a little bit more sore or not. And just notice the sensation and observe it without judgment. Remembering to keep the breath nice and deep. And again, when you're ready, pushing into the forearms, pushing into the hands, lifting up, curling the back toes under, lifting up the back leg, and stepping back for downward facing dog. Great. From here, we're going to inhale, lift the right leg up nice and high. Exhale, bend the right knee, pull the right knee forward, and step in between the hands. We're going to inhale, lift the arms all the way up, and straighten that front leg, and drop the back heel down. And we'll turn the hips and the toes to face the long edge of the mat. You can inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale and fold down. So wide-legged, standing fold. So if your hands don't touch the mat, that's fine. You can always grab a hold of the backs of the thighs, the knees, or the calves, or the ankles. Just relax the head and the neck, all to relax down. And wherever you are, I'm going to use that contact of the hands either on the shins, the ankles, or even on the big toes to inhale and exhale, using that grip to pull us a little bit further down. So deepening that stretch in the hamstrings. Great, we're going to place the hands on the hips, inhale and slowly rise all the way back up. Exhale out through the mouth. We'll turn the left toes out, the right toes can come in. We'll turn the hips to face the short edge of the mat. Bend the knee, plant the palms on the ground, and step the left foot back for downward facing dog. From here, we're going to drop the knees and return to our extended child's pose. Again, you can take this child's pose to check in. Notice your feelings, notice your emotions, if anything comes up. And then you can bring your awareness back to the space just above the space in between the eyebrows. When you're ready on your next inhale, we're going to push into the knees, push into the hands, and lift the hips up. And extend the legs out behind us and lower down onto the belly for full pranam. So palms facing up, hands extended out in front of us, forehead down on the earth, and legs relaxed behind. And pride is our biggest obstacle when it comes to being able to perceive the divine, perceive the magic of the world. So full pranam is in my opinion, one of the humblest yogic postures. It's like a full prostration. Okay, we're going to place the hands under the shoulders now. Inhale, push into the palms, come up for Cobra. So keep the elbows bended towards the ribs, relax the shoulders down, open the heart. Okay, exhale to lower down. Option to stay here and repeat the posture, or you can follow me and we can place the hands closer to the waist. So about in line with where the belly button is. Push into the hands and lift the chest. And even the hip flexors will lift up for full Cobra. You can lock the elbows just as long as the shoulders are relaxed down and we're not collapsing. Really pushing away from the mat using the strength in the shoulders. And you can even bend the knees if it feels good. Bring the big toes to touch. And bring the top of the head back. Great. Exhale to release. We'll bring the hands back under the shoulders. And then bring the elbows under the shoulders. And transition into Sphinx. So lifting the chest, the head, looking forward, or closing the eyes and bringing that focus to Ajna chakra, the space in between the eyebrows. And we'll return those hands under the shoulders. Release the forehead down. Curl the toes under, push into the knees, push into the hands. And round the spine, stretch like a cat. And return into our extended child's pose. Okay, inhaling, pushing into the mat. And lifting the chest all the way back up. And we'll bring the legs in front of us. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together for butterfly. And send the knees out nice and wide. They don't have to touch the ground. It really just depends on how your hips are, how the morphology of your hips are. So we'll grab a hold of the toes. Inhale with a nice straight back. Exhale, bring the head forward and down. Round in the spine. Breathe deep here. Feel the release in the lower back. Feel the stretch on the inner thigh. Great. Inhale, come all the way back up. Exhale to bring the knees together. I'll place the hands on the knees, round the spine, and bring the chin into the chest. So you should feel a stretch in the lower back and perhaps in the upper back. Cool. Inhale. And come all the way back up, straighten the spine. We're going to lower down onto the back. Now, if you are currently menstruating, I'll show you what you can do. But for the rest of us, we're going to come into Savangasana or shoulder stand. Bringing the elbows in nice and close to the body. And gently swinging the legs up and placing the hands on the lower back. So try and come nice and straight into your shoulder stand. And breathe deep, focus on the throat. Right, for those of us who are menstruating, you can bring a blanket and just place it under the sacrum. And we'll just place the legs up, feet in line with the hips. If you have a wall next to you, you can even place the heels onto the wall and rest the legs completely. But if you want to work the abs a little bit, you can do this version too. Great, taking a few breaths here. And when you're ready, exhaling, releasing the legs down, bending in the knees. You can remove that blanket. Legs up the wall, this posture. In fact, any posture that takes the blood away from the feet is really great if you're somebody who works on their feet all day, or if you're a big hiker. If you come back from a long hike, stick your legs up the wall. You will feel better for it. Okay, we're going to move on to our final sequence of postures. So bridge pose, so pushing into the heels, pushing into the tops of the shoulders, and lifting up the hips. And you can stay here if you like, or you can interlace the fingers behind the lower back. Push deeper into the heels, really dig those heels, and lift the hips up. Imagine you're bringing your heart towards your throat. And then release nice and slowly, being careful of the spine. And coming straight into our counter move, knees up to the chest. And we'll release both legs out in front of us for Shavasana. And you can place the hands either on the belly and on the sternum, or on the belly and the heart. Or you can place the hands beside you, palms facing up. Close the eyes. And bring your focus to the breath. As we inhale, the belly rises. Exhale, the belly falls. You can now bring your awareness to Ajna Chakra, the third eye, seat of your intuition, your inner wisdom. And visualize a beautiful, glowing purple light emanating from this area. As you inhale, the light expands. Exhale, the light grows dimmer. Inhale. Exhale. Continue breathing at your own pace and enjoy this moment of silence to connect to your intuition. When you feel ready to do so, you can begin to move the toes, the fingers, bring the feet together. Stretch the arms up above the head. And we'll hug the knees in. Keeping the eyes closed for a few more moments. Turning over to one side and using the hands to pull us up back into a seat. And placing the hands, palms facing up, arms straight out in front of us. And we'll finish by chanting Om. So focus on space in between the eyebrows. Take a deep inhale. Om. Inhale. Om. Feel the vibration through the whole body. Inhale. Om. Inhale deeply. Om. Final round. Deep inhale. Om. Sit in this space, sit in the vibration for a moment. Bringing the hands up to the heart. Thumbs up to the third eye. And we'll finish with a bow. Namaste.